Hey guys, I'm pleased to present another part of the Puma project. Now that we have finished the paint job, in this video we move on to the implementation of smaller details on the model, like the bomblet protection kit, headlights, optics and so on. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to your comments and constructive criticism. Thank you for your support, and here we go. First of all, it is advisable to cover the model when it is not in use for a longer period of time, so that no dust or deposits can get onto it. This makes the next steps easier and saves stress. We start by painting the raised areas such as edges, balls, screws and so on. It is advisable to use acrylic paints here, as lacquer paints tends to expose previously painted areas due to the thinning. Either mix colors freely or use 2 shades lighter as a guide. Be aware that washing and weathering process will soften this effect again. It is particularly important to model the colors in stages. This means working with thin applications of paint in several passes and increasingly lighter colors. However, it is important to give the previous coat of paint enough time to dry. For the decals, you use the typical processes. The decals are fine, easy to work with and have hardly any edges, so you don't have to cut close to the image. Dissolve with warm water, slide onto the model, push to the desired position with your fingers or a blunt object and fix it with the Tamiya Mark Fit. Remove excess liquid with a cotton bud and everything will be fine. Let's move on to the bomblet protection system, or maybe top deck protection system. I deliberately wanted to create a little more contrast here. They are normally black because they are made from a special rubber. Of course, this also means that the color peels off easily when heavy use. We start with a thin application of a light green, carefully modeling the surface and making sure that application is uneven. Do not allow the paint to dry properly and massage in a dark shade of gray with a false brush, as you would do for dry brushing or dry painting. Make sure that the edges remain slightly greenish. After the first application, take a lighter shade of gray and create highlights in spots. So let's talk about the optics. It gets a little difficult with the optics. Finding the right color was not so easy. I initially tried to mix a blue and a green shade, but it was either too light, too green or too blue. Let me tell you, that cost me nerves. So I looked at what we had available on the market and came across with a great shade from AK called Periscope Shade. In my opinion, it fits quite well. apply it thinly and lighten it in a few places. There's certainly room for improvement, but I'm relatively happy with the result. A steady hand and concentration are required here. Take your time. If you try to do too much at once, you will mess everything up. Chipping effects bring life to model. That should be always in your mind. Even though the Puma is a very new model, I figured it would also show signs of use during practice or exercise. It is important not to overdo it and to consider beforehand where the paint might be chipped or sanded off. Take a very fine brush, make 2 or 3 chips and clean it again immediately afterwards. You should also use always fresh paint so that you can create fine scratches. Next time I will also try to use drying retarder, but at the moment I have no clue how it works. For the lighting systems, model the colors as well in thin layers, build up the effect and try to set highlights with lighter colors. For the transparent parts, I recommend using super glue from Ammo. This is acrylic based and dries transparent. It is important to set color accents on a vehicle with camouflage paint so that it does not look so boring. Tools, fire extinguisher or tow ropes can provide a good contrast. That's why I deliberately choose a light green for the eyelets. Paint the cable itself with steel paint. Apply a light wash to create more depth. Using chipping paint to create flakes or chips on the eyelets, and use all paints and all the thinner to blend out the rust accumulation. Basically, the model is a really good one. As already mentioned in the first video, I decided not to use edged part sets. Unfortunately, however, I have to say that the sled armor is simply too thick and looks completely unnatural. Therefore, I can only recommend to do something for your modeling heart and simply make it better. Evergreen offers a wide range of profiles and stripes for this purpose. These are easy to work with and can be processed with normal plastic glue. However, you must always bear in mind that these thin parts also have an effect on the rigidity of assembly. Therefore, in some places you will have to compromise on realism and think carefully about what you cut out or replace. So folks, that's it. Here's the result and the preview of the next part. In it I will focus on the tracks and the camouflage net. Have fun and happy modeling. See you next time.